Krystal, what are you taking a look at?
Well, guys, I'm looking at gas prices, and there is a very simple reason you are paying so much at the pump right now. It's greed and it's corruption. You know it. I know it. And guess who else knows it? Bill Burr.
Only thing I know is the gas prices are high. Which this is yet another time where I thought I would just wish regular people were organized. You know? It's like we made the gas prices go down to like $2 a gallon, $1.90 a gallon in 2020 by all staying home and not driving. Granted, the government told us to stay home. I ain't fucking staying home. I don't trust the government. They're bombing Iraq. That's great. Support the troops. Anyway, we made it go down. So why don't we just all drive less? If you're working somewhere and somebody lives kind of near you, why don't you commute? Fuck these gas companies. Okay? They keep doing this shit where it was like they didn't know the pandemic was coming, so they had all of this fuel, and then we didn't use it. So the supply and demand thing. So then we start buying it again. And then what do? They stop producing it. And then they're like, oh, we don't have as much. They do it on purpose. They're greedy cunts. They pay all the politicians, the Republicans, the blue ties, the Obamas, the Trumps, the Bidens, the Clintons. They pay all of them. They pay all of them. And so they don't do anything about it. But we have the power, man. But you get the power, then you don't drive your car, then you get the girl. Right? We have the power to just make it go back down again. Just don't fucking drive. If you can, or whatever, commute with somebody else. All right? Do your part this week to fuck over the fucking oil companies and drive less or commute or stay home one day when you were going to go out or ride your bike. Do something like that. Fuck these fucking greedy cunts who create a shortage on purpose so they can try to make up all the money they lost in 2020. It's fucking disgusting.
Pretty simple, actually. So let me show you what the greed looks like here. Take a look at this. Big oil is raking in record profits. And these numbers are from before Russia did their so-called military operation in Ukraine. Their shareholders got burned during COVID. And these are people who are used to winning big every single time. So as Bill Burr accurately assessed there, they are intentionally holding back on production so they can use these obscene prices to pay off their people while your people and you get screwed. Now let me show you what the corruption looks like. Millions of dollars in campaign contributions in this year alone. $3 million to Democrats, nearly $7 million to Republicans, in case you thought voting them into office might improve the situation. And just take a look at who is at the top of the list for just this year in big oil money. Oh, that would be our friend Joe Manchin. Next up is the likely next Speaker of the House, Republican Kevin McCarthy. Overall, you've got 6 Democrats and 14 Republicans rounding up the top 20 most bought-off industry shills. Congratulations to them, and most of all, to our entire nation. Now, it sucks that this is the case, but gas is an absolute necessity in American life. Our public transit is crappy. Our working class has been pushed out of their communities, so they have to commute long distances. Our lives, jobs, and economic well-being, they are all wrapped up in what the numbers on those signs posted on the side of the highway say. As I laid out on Tuesday, because gas is a vital public good, like vaccines or healthcare in general or public safety or education, we should really just nationalize the damn oil companies and run them for our benefit rather than for the benefit of a group of our own oligarchs. Now, I'm not holding my breath there, but at the very least, the politicians who are too cowardly to actually do anything about $5 gas, at the very least, they could level with us. They could be honest about what's going on. But since the truth is rather unflattering to their donors, it shouldn't surprise you that many have concocted an elaborate web of lies instead of telling the truth. Let's start with the Republicans, who've never met public land they didn't want to despoil or oligarchs that they didn't want to enrich. They are leaning into their standard hippie-punching messaging. Gas prices are too high because Biden is a tree hugger who loves windmills or something and won't drill. And also, what about the Keystone Pipeline? I'm sure socialism, CRT, and the woke mob are somehow also implicated. Now, personally, I would actually like it if Biden had made some real progress on moving away from fossil fuels so we never have to suffer at the hands of the Saudis and a bunch of villainous oligarchs again. But he hasn't. On the contrary, under Biden, oil production has increased to more than the first year of the Trump presidency. The number of oil rigs has also increased, and thanks to a court decision blocking Biden's attempts to halt drilling on federal lands, the Biden administration recently held the largest auction of oil and gas leases in the Gulf of Mexico ever, which is projected to produce 1 billion barrels in total. It will take years, of course, for these barrels to be extracted, refined, and put to market. But the point is, there was no sudden collapse in oil production because of socialism, AOC, and the Green New Deal. I wish Joe Biden was that guy, but he just ain't. And about the GOP's beloved Keystone Pipeline, even if Biden had never stopped work on it, it would still be in construction for at least another year. The truth is, when it comes to drill, baby, drill, this administration is not a whole lot different from the last one. And how about the Democrats? Well, Tuesday, we brought you Biden's new messaging on gas prices.
Make no mistake. The current spike in gas prices is largely the fault of Vladimir Putin. It has nothing to do with the American Rescue Plan. Back to Wall Street. Wall Street estimated that the San Francisco Federal Reserve analyzed it, said the rescue plan contributed only 0.3% to inflation. 0.3%. That's coming from the Fed. Rescuing our economy didn't cause this problem, but we're working to fix it.
Putinflation, I guess, is what we're going with here, because apparently the Democratic Party learned literally nothing from their failures during the years of Russiagate. The corporate wing of the party is right back to using Russia as a boogeyman to excuse their failures on everything. And here's the thing, guys. We aren't stupid. Just take a look at this. Gas prices have been climbing for a year. Russia invaded Ukraine like 3 weeks ago. Not to mention, no one made you ban Russian oil, something that was expressly off the table just a couple weeks ago and then was quickly rushed through without even stopping for consideration. The messaging on this isn't hard, guys. Bill Burr just laid it out on a platter for you. Your own pollsters have been begging Biden to lean into a populist message on inflation, calling out the corporate monopolies, price gouging, and greed is a good mentality of the people who are wrecking the working class. You even tiptoed up to it in your State of the Union address, and people liked that speech. 55% approved of it. You even seemed to get a little bump in the polls from that, Biden. And now here we are, back to Putin the mastermind, controlling everything from our presidential elections to the gas price in your local town. Because that's a lot more comfortable than actually standing up to the donor class and corporate power and the paid-off shills like Manchin and Sinema in your own ranks. And guess what? Those people deserve to be named and shamed, because not only are they lying to you right now, they are propping up a rigged system that pumps big oil with subsidies, making it hard for renewables to compete. AOC gets a lot of credit for me for getting this one right. In a recent thread she wrote, many folks run around claiming to be free market capitalists, but what they actually are is captured market capitalists using subsidies and restrictive policy to hold us hostage to fossil fuels, for-profit healthcare and housing, etc., that many wouldn't choose if they had the choice. If you think gas is expensive now, she continues, imagine if we actually had to pay the true price without the insane government subsidies and favoring granted to them. If fossil fuel companies didn't have such tipped scales for them, it's very likely we'd be much further along with cheaper alternatives. Indeed. But as long as we're more likely to get the truth from comedians than the politicians who have real power, the more working class Americans will be left vulnerable to be preyed upon by our very own American oligarchs. And it just drives me crazy. Like, everyone is lying about what's going on.
Hey guys, we're gonna be totally upfront with you. This is the most perilous time that we have ever operated in.
It is so difficult just to try to sort through the news, but even more importantly, to bring you accurate information as this wave of lockdown and censorship spreads across the nation.
Yeah, look, if you can become a premium subscriber today at breakingpoints.com, you're gonna help us build out a vibrant, independent media ecosystem, which is free of mainstream pressure. We can't tell you how important that is at a time like this.
Yep, that's right. Go to breakingpoints.com to subscribe. We love you guys and we appreciate you so much.